Hi, guys. Welcome to XDC Podcast. My name is Sonny Mohanty. I'm the head of XDC Ventures and Ecosystem Building based out of Singapore. So, this podcast is part of the XDC Acceleration Program in partnership with Tenity. So, as you know, we have shortlisted 8 finalists to be part of this program, and they've already joined the cohort. So, today we have the first project with us. Frac. We have the co-founders Melvin and Japhet here with us. So let's just have a quick round of introduction from the founders themselves. Hi Japhet, hi Melvin, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Wonderful.
Yep, fantastic. Yeah.
Perfect. Let's have a quick short intro with your names and your titles and sort of job responsibilities.
Hi everyone. So my name is Japhet Lim. I'm the co-founder and CEO for Frac. Primarily, what I'm doing at Frac right now is doing a few things. I'm planning the product, doing a bit of BD, liaising between the different teams to make sure that we can meet timelines and all that. Of course, project management as well. And along with that, with Melvin, planning the vision and mission of the company. I think for a Web3 company, your vision and mission may not always be set in stone on day one, right? You especially when the space itself is evolving at light speed. So, the planning the vision and mission is an ongoing process. But I'm quite happy to say that, we are close. In terms of my career history, I graduated back then in 2016 from NUS. Did 2 years of my own, did a bit of outside the crypto industry stuff, Then after that, from 2018 onwards, it was crypto all the way for me. Did everything. Actually, me and Melvin, we started a Ethereum mining farm. It was one of the biggest mining farms in Singapore at the point of time. Then the bear came. Of course, then we had to move things to Malaysia. Did also crypto trading. I also did crypto training as well. Trained experts on blockchain and crypto. As well as started my own projects. Started 3 projects, but right now I'm just focused on Frac. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Being crypto for about coming close to 7 years now. Seen 2 bulls and 2 bear market. Although people say that the bear has exited, but I don't think so. I don't think we are seeing the exit yet. Yeah, so that's a little bit of introduction about me.
That's a great introduction, and you have many years of experience in this field. You're like an OG, I would say.
I don't want to use this term called OG because I think it's a little bit abused in the space. A lot of people, use this term, but they are false prophets. So I don't want to use
False prophets.
So I would just say that I have experience in almost all fields of crypto. Whether OG or not, to me, I don't really, don't really care, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Token 2049 is just around the corner. It's next week. Let's talk about the bear and the bull before we have a short intro about Melvin.
Yeah.
Over to you, Melvin.
I'm also co-founder and I'm the Chief Investment Officer of Frac. And on top of that portfolio, I'm also in charge of the activism part. So over at Frac, I actually handle the investment side. I also handle the deal-making side for the tokenization of our RWA projects and enterprise partners, right? And on the activism side, I actually do a lot of work with the NGOs and the charities, helping them to look into certain structures as to how they can raise even more money in the crypto space. And of course, allowing the benefits of tokenization to flow throughout their organization. I think there are really many, many things that they can benefit from, right? I think a little bit about my past. I was actually a banker.
Wow.
So I had a strange affinity with Malaysia, having worked for 2 Malaysian banks.
Okay, in Singapore.
In Singapore, yeah.
Okay.
In CIMB and as well as Maybank.
Okay.
So I left Maybank in 2014 At that point of time, I left as the regional vice president for Southeast Asia, handling partnerships and programs. So I have real passion for ASEAN, and that is precisely what I intend to do. I want to continue this work of spreading our technology at Frac and tokenization RWA, starting with Southeast Asia and hopefully beyond.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like when people say that I was a banker, but now I'm working in crypto. I feel, oh my God, at least I have a banker who is in the crypto field. Otherwise, people have all sort of speculations when they hear this word. Web3 is obviously new, right? But we are crypto, right? So good to know that, from our banking to all the way to Web3. We would like to know more about your offerings as well in Frac as we go along. Okay, so great. So what do you think about, both of you, about Token 2049? I'm going to come touch base on that acceleration program in a bit. But so what are your expectations out of this Token 2049 in Singapore this year?
Token 2049 has become an integral part of the Singapore crypto culture. It's quite funny because they were supposed to always, do a roundtable, like a roundtable turn, London, Dubai, Singapore. But it seems that in recent years, they seem to, the organizers seem to prefer Singapore as the hosting country, which of course as a Singaporean, I'm very happy, right? And as a Singaporean, we must support, right? We don't have to pay for airline tickets, all the more we need to go. But expectations wise, I post about this quite a lot on my LinkedIn. Almost every year I would do one post on Token 049. And I would tell this, this is my 2 cents worth. I would say that Token 2049 is where you make friends, but don't expect a lot of time on a single contact because there's so many distractions. But if you do ever find, like, you speak to someone and you can really see a lot of synergy, I would actually advise focusing on that person instead of being in a rush to go to the next side event. Because at the end of the day, when you go to so many side events, quantity is there, but quality of connection is not there, right? So, I would say that for me, my expectation from Token 049, if I can make 3 quality contacts, I'm happy. 3.
Yeah.
Quality means we can come together, we can make some announcements, we can do some cross-product synergy. I think to me, I'm happy. That's me. That's a
very good point. That's a catch as well. Because you know what? Token 2049 has been happening in Singapore for a couple of years. I've traveled to Dubai as well for the first time to attend Token 2049. It's the noise. It's the distraction around you,
Yep.
So you have several thousands and thousands of side events to go to. Then obviously you get influenced by your peers, like, let's go hop into that event, this event. And, I think what you told, like, focus on 3 good meetings where you should be able to get some, a positive outcome out of that meetings. I think we should all focus on that.
Yep.
Because it's a lot of noise out there. What about you? Like, what are your expectations for this year from Token 2049?
Well, first and foremost, I think I really enjoy the event. Right? I try to go for 1 to 2 T2049s in a year. And every time I go, it's a different thing. Like for example, last year, the theme was very different from this year. So every year there's new expectations. So when I go into any T2049s, the first thing that I always want to do is to learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I always try to there's so many speakers, right? So I try to pace myself. I try to get in as early as possible. Spend at least 3 hours attending talks from thought leaders, probably some of the American or OGs. Like the founder. Last year I attended and I was intrigued because the founder of XRP was here, right? And the top 10 crypto projects, a lot of them were here. And more interestingly, the last Token 2049, a lot of TradFi people were here. That was something very interesting to me because I came from that space.
Yeah.
I have a distinct interest to try to bring in more TradFi people into Web3.
Yeah.
And so I listened very carefully to what all these TradFi people are saying. Like for example, the last year the CEO of Franklin Templeton was here. So these are very big, these $1 trillion companies, right? So I listen very carefully. I think the second thing that, when I go there is to catch up with friends, because it's only, one time in a year whereby friends from all over the world converge into one place. Right? But I always tell my friends, the networking and learning is more important, right? We can always catch up later at the night. But during the day, let's try to do some business and learn as much as we can.
Yeah, I think everybody is sort of gearing towards that token 2049 as we speak. Coming back to the XDC program, the acceleration program in partnership with Tenity, how did you guys know about this program, and why did you think this is something that you should be applying for? Also touching base a little bit on Frac, like, what stage is Frac right, on, or stage are you guys on, and what are your future plans, and how did you think that this program is going to be valuable for you guys?
Between the two of us, I'm the one in charge of looking at accelerators, applying to VCs. He's the one that's doing the face-to-face meetings, activating his network. I keep a close eye out for all the accelerator programs in Singapore and for all the known incubators. Tenity was one of them, right? So I heard about the XDC program, of course, from one of Tenity's advertisements. But I don't just apply without going to understand about the program, right? Because we are not just here to get money and then... So when I saw the Tenity program, then I went and take a look at XDC, right? The website, the coins, market cap, and all that, right? Users, TVL, holders, everything that I can get myself on, right? When I went to XDC website, I noticed that you guys were very focused on RWA tokenization. Like it's the left, right, center message, right? And that is what struck me and said, hey, look, this is a good program for Frac, right? Because we believe in RWA tokenization. And also, it's quite apparent to me that you guys also believe in onboarding Web 2 to Web 3, right? Because, in the space, there are two kinds of founders. Those that believe in kicking the ball around the Web 3 football field, call it the Web 3 football field, and those that believe in actually expanding the stadium. That means bringing more people in, right? So for Frac, we believe in the former. I believe in the latter. We want to expand the stadium. We want to get more people to come into Web 3 instead of trying to just kick the ball around the Web 3 football field. So given that there's a resonance in terms of vision and mission, that was what drew me to eventually click apply. And that is what brought us here today.
Interesting. I think you did your research properly before applying. But you're right. Usually what happens, we get blinded by this grant or funding or investment or whatever you call it, right? And you just forget about the rest of the what else are you getting out of this program, right? So again, Melvin, obviously you are co-founders. You must have discussed together. So what was your 2 cents like when you saw this program?
Oh, I was actually very excited. When Japhet told me about it, I told Japhet that we should try, because to me, being from the TradFi space for so many years as a banker, and then moving on into Web3, Web3 is so different. Web3 is so much about partnerships and collaboration. And when we found a strategic investor in XDC, I think that was a no-brainer for us. We just wanted to quickly apply and quickly hope that we can get the program and quickly learn and collaborate with the people inside. So that was the first thing. I think for us at Frac, we find that the current system, the current financial system in the Web2 space is a little bit damaged. Many people say it can be quite unfair. Systems are very disparate. There's a lot of distrust, right, in a system. And some people even say there are leakages, right? And it's very expensive to maintain. There are many legacy financial systems in TradFi space that is very expensive even to transfer money, right? So we wanted to do our small part to plug this gap, because the current Web3 infrastructure and ecosystem that I would say is still in its infancy stages, right? Is still very mobile. Is very moldable. And we want to do our small part as Frac, as a project, to focus on RWA tokenization.
You understand, you've worked in the banking sector, now you are in the Web3 RWS space. You understand the challenges and the current problems with the banking system. In terms of adoption, do you think we are there yet?
No. We are far from that.
Yeah, why would that be?
Well, first and foremost, right, like what Japhet mentioned earlier about the philosophy of kicking the ball in the same football field, we must, as fellow citizens and projects in the Web3 space, to work hard to actually make it easier for these Web2 people to onboard. And when I say Web2, you must understand that for Web3 users, it's in our DNA to transfer money, for example, with a string of codes.
Absolutely.
Right. But for them, they can't understand that. Right. I think we would only start to win if we can start to allow majority of these Web2 citizens to come on board and join this bandwagon with us and build the future of finance together.
Interesting. That brings me to, again, the next focus on Frac. What problem are you solving? What is Frac all about?
We are building one focused product, but we are solving 8 problems across 3 industries. And we say that with good reason. So the 3 industries that we are solving problems in would be the luxury assets industry, the NGO sector, and last of all, the intellectual property sector. And some of the problems that we are solving is really straight to the point, right? For example, for luxury assets, we want to make it accessible for people to invest in luxury items. For NGOs, we want to make clear, where your donations go. Every time you donate, you use a token as a receipt for your donations to make sure that when you donate, it's towards a specific campaign, and it's all tracked on chain, at least the initial part. And then, of course, for intellectual property, that can range from a myriad of users, right? First of all, for intellectual property, price discovery is important, and tokenization exactly facilitates that. It facilitates price discovery. Number 2 is for intellectual property, it's also important for IP to get commercialized, and there are margins in between an IP, a piece of IP not commercialized and being commercialized. So tokenization can also help to monetize those margins, or even help to distribute those margins to more investors, right? So there are many exact problems that we are solving with our piece of technology, but we are focusing on these 3 industries. And I would say that for Frac, this is really one of our differentiation points, right? Because a lot of the tokenization companies out there, right? That means our competitors per se, right? They would very much focus on real estate, right?
Yes.
They will very much focus on stocks, bonds, commodities, and all that. Not to say Frac wouldn't go there, but for now we're not going there yet, right? So they like to focus on these items. Our competitors like to focus on those items because apparently to them the market share is big. But for Frac, we chose to focus on our 3 verticals: luxury assets, NGOs, and IP, because regulations allow it, right?
Regulations allow it.
Regulations are more relaxed around those items, right?
Okay.
Collectibles, and IP and charity campaigns, right? It's a very different set of regulations, different set of licensing requirements that Frac is better suited to actually tap on. Yeah, so that is really an introduction to Frac and the problems that we're solving. But maybe Melvin could elaborate more as well.
There are 3 verticals. Luxury. When you say luxury, I would like to know how you define luxury items. IP is clear, and then there's NGO. I would like to know more about that NGO. How do you tokenize NGO, and who is getting benefited? How are the end users getting benefited and stuff like that? Maybe either of you can take this. The luxury assets that you said. What does that mean? What commodities do you include in that luxury item space, and how you're tokenizing it, how you're making money out of it, and how do you convince your investors and the end users and the stakeholders that, hey guys, see, this is what we're doing. We are not a real estate we're not like, everybody is tokenizing real estate. I mean, real estate tokenization has been there for ages. I I used to travel to Dubai before COVID, and people are tokenizing Burj Khalifa and this and that, right? But this space is very niche. I'd like to know what exactly you do in this space.
Maybe I can start with the luxury assets part, and then maybe Japhet can elaborate more on the NGO side.
Yeah.
So for me, I have a particular interest in the luxury asset space, and how we define this space is, for example, precious stones, precious metals, precious liquids like whiskey and red wine, right? And even collectibles. For example, like fabric is a craze, and things like, for example, art. Right.
Okay.
So the assets vary across the board. Like, for example, if you talk about precious metals, there's like gold, silver, the more common ones, and then you have platinum, right? For the stones, you have diamonds, right? And of course, you have things like jade and rubies, right? So along the way, we found that there is quite a lot of value in tokenizing such assets, especially those that are of higher value. Burmese rubies and jade is very expensive right now. In fact, in the last few years, this alternative investment class has seen a triple digit, in fact, growth. Right? People have made a lot of money from Burmese jades and rubies. And this is just one example. If you look at the auction houses, for example, Christie's,
Are they rare, these Burmese rubies?
Sotheby's, oh yeah, they have been auctioning some of these precious stones in millions of dollars. Yeah, and some of them even hitting like the 100 million mark.
But what's the problem there? That if traditionally they are doing this, what are the problems that you're solving?
The problem with the auction houses is that the investment class is not available to the masses, to the retail investors.
Right.
Right, and we think that there's an opportunity here. If you're able to use RWA tokenization technology, just like what Frac is doing, to actually break these assets down into smaller pieces for them to buy, then it presents a very good opportunity, investment opportunity, a hedge against inflation for the guys on the street. So it's as simple as that. Now, on top of that, of course, you have the safety aspect. Right. Putting all this on a blockchain, you can be assured. You can be assured that you really have the ownership and you're well protected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So just one example.
So in terms of partnerships, like who are your customers or partners in this luxury? For example, the rubies and the gems, and you can just take one example.
I can actually name a few. For example, the mines.
The mines.
Yeah, the mines, they may just want to go into this space. In fact, we are talking to a few of them.
Okay.
Right, in Malaysia. It can be the refineries for the precious metals, even the jewelers.
The jewelers themselves.
The jewelers themselves. Because you must understand, right, in this market, once you put in the setting, you put in the beautiful artwork to come out with the full-fledged, necklace or diamond, the value goes up quite a bit. And that's where investors can also make good money.
Okay.
Yeah, towards the end.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I mean, I wasn't aware about all these nitty-gritties. What about NGOs?
When it comes to NGOs, I need to talk a little bit about Frac's business model, right? Essentially, we are B2B to C, right? So whether it's luxury assets or NGOs or IP, for now, we are B2B to C. And what that means is that we so-called white label our software to the enterprises.
What software?
Our tokenization software.
Oh, okay.
So imagine the software being deployed, but instead of the Frac brand, it will be the enterprises brand. Right,
Okay,
like
got
OEM. There's another way to put it, right?
Okay.
For the NGOs, we don't tokenize the NGO. What we do is we OEM the software to them. They owned the tokenization platform.
Right.
And now they can go ahead and tokenize each and every one of their charity campaigns. So from the creation of the campaign, to the tokenization of the campaign, to the initial listing of the campaign, and people who actually get these campaign tokens. They can even trade these campaign tokens among themselves. So with this entire platform, what happens is that now the NGO can use tokenization to create a powerful donors ecosystem, right? Now, one of the big problems that NGOs face, two big problems. The problem of distrust.
Right.
Statistics have shown, right, distrust is at its highest since 2021, right? Since the COVID years, distrust for NGOs is at its highest. Charity donations is at its lowest. The rate of growth is also at its lowest. Yeah, so the spirit of giving is not strong.
Understand, because of the distrust.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So this entire platform, this software that we OEM to the NGOs, what we want to do for them and what they want to do for themselves, to me, the number one problem that it solves is it increases the level of trust. Because now when I want to save the tigers, I can go ahead and donate specifically to this campaign, and I get a token for my donation that signifies my specific participation in this specific campaign, right? So now NGOs, they have to state, for every campaign, what is the amount they are looking to raise. Whereas for now, sometimes they group a few forests, habitats, or animals together. Yeah, so you don't exactly know, how much of it is for that animal and all that, right? So with our platform, now NGOs can create that impression of trust. They can raise trust levels. And of course, with our platform, they can also target crypto donors, right? Which is a big group, right? Okay. So those are the things that we are hoping, that we are aiming for our platform and our software to help the NGOs with.
So when you say NGOs, they are companies, right? These are not individuals.
These are companies, correct? Correct.
How do you, charitable companies, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine these are not tech savvy, let alone crypto Web3 tokenization. How would you convince an NGO to have this white labeled software?
Yeah.
Do they have IT departments?
So it depends on the scale of the NGO.
Okay.
It depends, right? It's almost like a normal, like how any other company works. If you're big enough, you usually have every department.
Okay.
So we are talking to one big and one small one. The small one is exactly like what you said, Sonny. They are not so tech savvy, but we're prepared to help them. We're prepared to uplift them a little bit, give them a little bit more assistance to that. The big one has their own digital marketing department, has their own IT department. So it's more concrete. They know what to do. Although they are tech savvy but not Web3 savvy, but with our system, it makes the bridging quite easy. So
they're mostly non-for-profit, right?
Yeah, correct.
Are you able to close big deals with them?
We still have to make revenue, right? It is a business after all. Just that for us, our current business model is really simple. First of all, when we deploy our platform, there's a one-time fee. And then after that, every month, there is a minimum maintenance fee. If our profit sharing with them exceeds that minimum fee, then they don't need to top up any,
Right.
Yeah, so...
That's how.
that's how we make money. With the charities, whatever we're charging minimally per month is definitely within whatever they can do, and it's within a very reasonable rate. Yeah.
Right.
On that part, I wouldn't be too concerned.
Coming over to the XDC 1080 acceleration program, talk me through the program. What was the structure? Like, you had some master classes, like masterclass 1, masterclass 2, masterclass 3 and 4, with the demo day which is on 17th of September during Token 2049. So talk me through this program. What were the benefits and what could have been changed or could have been a little bit better? And if you were able to give some valuable feedback back to the team at 1080, and how was your experience being part of this cohort? Anybody can start.
Well, first and foremost, I think Sonny, I really want to thank the XDC team for putting together such a wonderful program with 1080. I think that especially I remember the first few days was real fun when people from all walks of life, from Africa, from the MENA region, coming all the way down. I remember Hope.
Yeah.
He was actually doing a 20-hour flight, I think. 28-hour flight.
No, it was more than that. It was 32 hours.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yes.
I met him on the lift. The poor guy was like almost half asleep. And so we made great friends throughout the entire program, right? And I think the learning was very important. I think some of the people that came were actually first-time entrepreneurs, right? And for me, even I've done a few businesses before, I've also learned a great deal of how the Tenety method, right, of teaching, especially in terms of the crypto space. Right. They had a lot of guest speakers. And these people were people that were very experienced, probably like 10 years to 20 years in the space. And we were able to intellectually spar on numerous occasions on various topics, right, that were really tough nuts to crack.
What struck me the most for the accelerator program is that the underlying message to me is very clear, and I 100% wholeheartedly agree with it, is that the path to being a Web3 entrepreneur is no different from the path to being a successful entrepreneur in any other industry. And to me, that was really the gist of the program. First of all, they teach you what is product market fit. They teach you how to develop something that the market actually wants. Because one of the biggest problems in Web3, I would just say it's Web3 for now. One of the biggest problems in Web3 is that we are so obsessed with our product. We should be obsessed with our customer, but we end up becoming overly obsessed with the product, right? We want to pat ourselves on the back, we want to think we are next Albert Einstein or something. But the truth is, if the market doesn't want it, you're nothing, right? So one very big takeaway for me from the entire program is learn to sell before you learn to build. Learn to sell before you learn to build, right? Because most of us are doing it the reverse, especially in Web3, because it's so tech focused, right? When it's so tech, there's good and there's an upside and downside to being overly tech focused. The upside is, yes, you tend to be more innovative, but the downside is you tend to overly focus on product, and that's an industry-wide problem. And I think the accelerator program perfectly addresses that. Like you guys walk us through the 101 of being an entrepreneur, finding a product market fit, finding partners, building things that people want, identifying your ideal customer profile. Google Cloud came in as well. I mean, we're on Google Cloud now, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're Google Cloud?
We're migrating to Google Cloud. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So thank you for that session as well. I think for me, that is really the biggest takeaway. And I'm a very focused person. So I want to see accelerator programs for Web3 really taking on this niche. Because when you become overly product focused, it actually is linked to that football field problem that I spoke about.
Right.
When you are overly product focused, you tend to just kick the ball within the Web3 crowd. Because you're just building a product that has a native Web3 user you want. But you forget about the 99% of the world's population that's not in Web3 yet. But if all the Web3 entrepreneurs in the next 10 years think about it the other way around, that means we become obsessed with bringing people in, that's where mass adoption will happen.
I agree. You learn to sell first before you build.
Exactly.
Totally agree, guys. Whoever is watching, please.
I learned that the hard way as well.
So that's the main takeaway, highlights of the podcast today. All right, coming to the engagement with the XDC team members, like there were some XDC hours, I guess, right? So where you got to meet other team members from XDC team. How difficult or easier it was for you to get into the XDC tech stack?
I think it was really quite straightforward, and when I say straightforward, I don't mean that it's simple. It's, of course, you guys have a great tech stack. It's not simple, just that it's straightforward in the sense that because of your SDK and API kits and all that, it's become quite direct for us to deploy. In fact, I think, if I'm not wrong, I think we were the first or second ones to deploy. And then I think if we were to take absolute time, I think we are the ones who took the shortest. I think 2 weeks we deployed already. I think Sonny, you were very happy about that as well. For Frac, we are a little different. We are go-to-market already. We are post-rev. So our SOP on the product side is quite firm. Of course, we are improving. But because of that clarity that we have on the product side, plus XDC, you guys are EVM compatible, right?
Yes,
so that made it very simple for us. And of course, your tech team was very helpful as well. I think we asked them questions, they answered directly, answered in pretty promptly as well, right? I can't say that about all other layer ones. we have had some.
I've got my skin in the game. Let's put it that way.
So with that prompt response and the EVM compatibility and your SDKs and API kits, it was a relatively pleasant process for us to deploy to your chain. So, yeah.
So who is the tech guy here? Little bit.
I'm more of a tech guy.
You're more,
more of a tech guy.
I can
Yeah.
figure that out. So what
Yeah.
about rest of your team members? What was their involvement in the process? Because you were very actively involved, if I remember correctly.
We have different team members in different parts of the world. So, of course, our tech team, we have a few members in Vietnam. So they are the ones working behind the scenes, developing it. Then we have BD members in Malaysia, because I think Melvin can explain a bit more on this as well. But on the BD side, we are really looking, to expand. To expand heavily in Malaysia, to get more clients in Malaysia as well. So our BD team members have been bringing us deals. Right now, the BD process is very word of mouth, right? It's very word of mouth because tokenization is so new. 90% of the world doesn't know it yet, right? It's still new, right? So because of its relatively newness, there's no point in doing what all the major B2B companies do, right? Send out cold emails and all that. It doesn't work. In our experience, it doesn't work. As of now, because of the newness of this tech, the desire to tokenize must come from the very top. It must be the C-level or the founder level that wants to.
People who actually understand
correct.
the problem.
So far, all our deals are closed because the founders themselves, the C-suite at least, have some idea about tokenization.
Exactly.
If they have zero ideas, no amount of cold emails will work. We are in that stage right now, right? I'm wishing for the day where cold emails will work.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody. He works in payment space in Indonesia, right? I told him we are coming up with another cohort where we're going to build payments, fintechs, especially fintechs on the XDC network. He said, I don't work with crypto. We don't work with crypto.
That's quite sad because that's the next frontier of payments.
Isn't it?
But unfortunately, that's the reality of the.
So the reaction, I was like shocked.
Yeah, that's the reality right now.
He will come around.
Because of the regulators, right? They're
If we
so
talk about
nervous.
education, why there is no education awareness? Regulators, why can't they educate then? Sorry.
Oh dear, that's another topic.
There's
altogether.
another. We can spend another hour on that.
Yeah, but I think some of the regulators in certain jurisdictions, they are really trying very hard. Like I can give some examples. Like we are in Singapore and Malaysia, so we engage regulators. In fact, we even engage law enforcement. I remember we had the interview with the Singapore Police Force, I think last year, when they were trying to learn from Frac in the area of tokenization, and they wanted to learn specifically on how
crypto scams and all that. Yeah.
Crypto scams can be prevented. Money laundering can be stopped, and so we had very robust discussion with the police. Another example is in Malaysia, in KL, we had very very robust discussions with the Malaysia Digital Economy Ministry, as well as even the Securities Commission, on what certain products, whether or not regulation is required for tokenization. Like for example, in Singapore, they feel that precious stones and precious metals still have to be somewhat regulated. You need certain forms of licenses.
The business itself.
For tokenization.
Or tokenization,
In Malaysia, they feel that diamonds is not a financial product.
Not a financial product,
So you can go ahead and tokenize up to the company as long as you have robust controls. Go ahead and do it. We are not going to regulate you. RWA tokenization is very, very new. For people like Frac, as one of the ecosystem players, we have to pace ourselves. And we must also understand that regulations are changing according to the various countries at a very, very fast pace right now. Certain countries will be faster, certain countries will be slower.
Singapore is faster.
Singapore in terms of ASEAN, I would say we are the first three.
Yes.
Yeah, we are ahead.
Yeah.
Right, and so we pace. In all the jurisdictions that we want to enter, we must be very, very clear and make sure that we are in touch with the regulators.
Another thing I want to ask, I don't know if you guys face this or not, because coming over to regulations and all that, Indonesia treats crypto, because this same person told me, Indonesia treats crypto as commodities. In Malaysia, obviously, I think different regulations prevail. To an end user, is it not confusing?
Yes, it is. Yeah, but you must understand that for end users, a lot of them don't really care, right? As long as they trust the brand,
Yeah.
as you have seen in so many other projects, as long as they trust the brand, even if you're not regulated, they're even willing to park their money with you, right? So I think what's important is really for the entire ecosystem,
Yeah.
and the ecosystem includes the regulators,
Absolutely,
right? We have to work together to see how we can, in a way, educate
Yeah.
the market together.
Yeah.
And before you can educate people, we must first be educated ourselves.
Absolutely. XTC 1080 program is already going to get over by October. Where are we today with the program, and in terms of Frac's integration with XTC's mainnet? I mean, how was the experience? How far did we get? And what are the other milestones which are left to be achieved?
Currently, we are doing a server migration to Google Cloud. But what's exciting is this, right? Is that when we next deploy the XDC Diamond Labs platform, it will come with the credit card payment option.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I
so
love it.
we are very excited about that. I'm looking to do a demo videos. You know, I like to do all these demo videos. Although I don't have the nicest voice on earth, but
So who is going to be speaking?
Usually I will do the demo
Okay.
videos. Yeah, he's more
Shepard's
the
voice is more sexy.
it's
more deep.
That's what he says in front of the camera. Really exciting because I think we're the first ones to enable a merchant to accept credit card payment for on-chain real asset fractions. A bit of a mouthful. I'm still thinking of how to restructure that statement, but yeah, that's the accurate way to put it. So yeah, the next time we deploy the XDC, it will come with that feature. I'm looking to demo it, looking to show people this is how it's done. This is how you onboard Web 2, right? Because not just the credit card payment option, we also have Web 3 Auth. Shout out to Web 3 Auth as well. Right, so we have integrated their plugin to all our platforms. Literally 2 clicks and you have your own wallet. 3 clicks, you can copy your wallet address. Yeah, so within 4 clicks, you can make payment and you have your first fractions delivered to you in your wallet. That would be exciting. That would be the next time we unveil the we update our newsfeed. It will come with that feature as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and the experience to integrate to the mainnet has been great. I think recently there's some smart contract verification here and there, but my team is on it. I think not really too big of an issue. It's just a contract ownership and verification process that you guys are updating. I also see that your team is hard at work.
Yeah, because I like to know if the onboarding has been smooth enough.
It has, yes.
But we have that xdc.dev portal where you could put all your questions, concerns, or anything you have to discuss.
We have an article there as well. Diamond Labs, right? We Frac deployed for Diamond Labs onto XDC. So the Diamond Labs article is there as well. You can go and take a look.
I'm very intrigued to know what's your 3 years to 5 years plan. I mean, obviously it's very tough because you don't know when the market goes up and down, bear and bull kicks in, right? Keeping that aside, all the distractions aside, what is Frac going to do?
I think our plan is very clear, right? We are going to definitely focus our attention with Singapore and Malaysia. If we do very well, we're very clear we're going to Thailand.
Okay.
And after we manage to get these 3 markets in order, we are going to try to expand throughout Southeast Asia and the Asia Pacific. And the other market that we are very keen on, and that's the reason why we have been working very hard in Malaysia and Indonesia actually, is that we hope to go into the MENA region, and more specifically the Middle East.
Right.
Because we know that there are lots of very innovative and interesting assets that require RWA tokenization in the next few years. And so that is really a very clear line as to what we are going to do.
Roadmap.
The MENA region is a hotspot for luxury assets.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, your Dubai,
Dubai,
gemstones.
Oh, that way, yeah. I thought tokenization. Tokenization has been there. The buzz has been there for quite a big.
So we want to target MENA because we know that's the home of luxury assets.
In fact, there's a lot of people right now trying to tokenize their precious metals.
Yes, we've been asked.
Countries even.
Yeah.
Countries and governments even.
Yeah.
Oh wow! You guys can always travel to Dubai and meet the great team, the XDC team, the headquarters, the founders.
Yeah, your HQ is there, right?
HQ.
We should.
And crack some deals, partnerships. Never know, right?
Yeah,
so your target is Malaysia and Thailand, but you never know, right?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Make a trip and you.
We'll very
Close some-
quickly.
close some deals. So how are you preparing for the demo day? All set?
Yeah, our deck is up. Next week, probably this week we have a slot with Jordan from Tenity
Yeah.
to go through the deck.
Mm-hmm.
But we created the deck in line with the guidelines that were given.
Mm-hmm.
We are Singaporeans, so we're very good at following instructions.
I bet. I bet.
Law abiding.
For better or for worse, but yeah, so we stuck closely by the guidelines to create the short deck. 3 minutes, right? It's a bit of a squeeze, but I think we can do it. We have done quite a few lah. We have done quite a few demo days, but 3 minutes is our shortest. Will be record breaking for us.
Very much like an elevator pitch.
It's almost like an elevator pitch, to be honest.
Good to know that you don't take any questions on the spot, which is after the fact.
Correct.
Doesn't
So-
distract you from your
Correct.
speech.
The
right?
3 minutes doesn't
Yeah.
include the Q&A.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw the
Yeah.
lineup. I think we are good. I mean, yeah, we have videos as well. If you want to watch some videos for the platform, we have that as well.
Yeah. See your presentation on that before that as well.
Okay.
And obviously I'll be there on the demo day. We're expecting, I think I got a number for you, 1,000 plus. But I don't know if everybody is going to be allowed. But it's going to be full of people, investors. And,
That's great. That's
yeah.
great. That's
So
great. That's what we need as a startup.
That'll be
Yeah.
great fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of
Thank you.
exposure, a lot of questions after during the networking session, a lot of room to make partnerships as well.
Got
know.
it.
So that's the key for
Beautiful,
your growth,
beautiful.
right? I think we are heading towards the end of this podcast, and I really like speaking to you, Melvin. I mean, I have been in touch with Japhet very
Yeah.
frequently.
Yeah.
And speaking to you is also very, it's a pleasure experience
Yeah,
for me as
thank
well.
you.
Understanding your strengths and your play in the entire, project.
Yeah.
And all the best for the demo day, all the best for your future. I think without you guys, we can't grow as well. The network, the, XDC network.
Symbiotic relationship.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Obviously, we are like a partner forever, right?
Yeah. yeah.
I look forward to this partnership, and if you need any help from our ecosystem, we have a very large ecosystem, starting from a centralized exchange, a DEX, other platform like we are partners with Securitize as well, right?
Oh.
Yeah, Securities.io.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can always leverage on the ecosystem partnerships that we have. So yeah, happy to help. And as last few words, I would just want to say I had great time, great time talking to you both. I hope all other podcasts are also fun like this.
We are real people. Hashtag be
people,
real. So there's a bit of humor whenever we talk to real people, man. I tell you.
And you guys are a good team.
Yeah.
You complement each other.
Yeah.
As you said, his voice about his whatever
Yeah,
you
very deep.
the one before that.
Oh, okay.
Any last words before we wrap up?
I'm just looking forward to the demo day,
Yeah.
and looking forward to another. I believe 2025 will be a bullish year, so I'm looking forward to
I hope so.
2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also want to wish XDC the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you so much for organizing this amazing podcast and this amazing location. In fact, all the characters in this room are my favorite. You have Pac-Man, you have
Yeah.
Darth Vader, you have Super Mario, you even have the Marshmallow Man behind
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Some of this
exactly.
stuff can be really expensive, Some of these collectibles.
Yeah, I think-
Are
I
you
think
going to
it is.
tokenize this?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is,
we
this
can.
is
In
luxury
fact, I
assets,
was
yeah.
thinking about it. I said, hey, this can be tokenized. A lot of this
Yeah.
can be tokenized.
Yeah.
Yes. We should talk to the podster after this session.
Yeah,
how to
we
tokenize.
definitely should.
Thank you, audience, whoever is watching this. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to our, sort of conversation, discussion with Frac. And thank you. And we look forward to another podcast very soon. So stay tuned and have a great day. Bye-bye.